a picture is worth 1,000 words, and especially when you're coming to the closing part of a sale, a picture, an illustration, or maybe a calculation cleanly written down or cleanly showcased on a visual aid can absolutely make the difference between winning the sale or losing the sale. So in this video, we're going to talk about the different visual aids I use and which ones I recommend for using when you're actually going towards the closing of the sale, and some of the benefits that these closing aids make for you. Welcome to this video. My name is Dr. Rajat, Sinha, medical doctor turned sales strategist. And if you haven't already, you can just go ahead and grab my book, which is Nil Negotiation Selling, which is a total Bible of sales. And you'll find lots of these ideas that I'm discussing in these videos and many more once you go ahead and grab the book. So go ahead, grab the book. There's a link that's floating on the screen. Just type it out and go ahead and grab the book. Okay, let's get started now. Why is it that we should use illustrations or visual aids or something that you can show the prospect outside of the discussion that you're already having, and what benefit does it give you? So the first and most important benefit that you can have with a visual aid is it decompresses the pressure. As you're coming to the close, you're talking about pricing, you're talking about urgency, and there is a little bit of pressure that is built up because now the prospect kind of knows that this is the time to act. And definitely if you've done the job well, you've built up the edification, you ask the questions, you got all your budget authority tied down, and if you build those relations on the call, then you know that's going in the right direction. However, when the time comes to ask for the money, there is a little bit of tension that develops. Now remember, you want to be on the side of the prospect. So usually when you're sitting in front of the prospect, especially in a one-on-one situation, you're facing them, or you're probably sitting on the same table and you're kind of talking to each other, and you're somewhat in kind of an opposing situation because you're facing off. Now what you want to do is you want to be with them and point towards a third thing. So both of you should be together pointing towards a goal that the prospect wants to achieve, and you want to help them get there. Even if you're selling commodities, like probably you're into selling cars, or even if you're into real estate sales. And more importantly, once you get into a little more conceptual sales, like financial product sales, health networking, anything like that. Okay. Then you want to be, figuratively speaking, you want to be sitting with the prospect, pointing towards a goal so that it seems to them that you are with them, they've got a companion, and both of you are going to go ahead and achieve that goal together. So visual aid plays amazingly because both of you are discussing a third thing, and that decompresses the pressure. So you're kind of facing off, you're talking to each other, you're building that connection. Now you're coming to the close, money is going to be exchanged. Prospect has got some flutter in their heart, and now you want to bring in a third variable, which could be a visual presentation or something like that, so that both of you are now consulting that visual presentation, and that decompresses the pressure by introducing that third diversion, so to say, in the sales call. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing, if you are into any kind of conceptual self-improvement kind of sale, you want to it helps you to future pace. That means if you are helping them achieve a make money goal or save money goal, financial freedom goal, then it helps you to future pace. Some calculations on the sheet helps you to timeline it so that they can see themselves in the future and they get excited about that. If you're in a weight loss or health and nutrition kind of a niche, you want to future pace what their body weight will look like, and you can actually draw diagrams of what their body type will look like if they are going to go with you on this journey 1 month from now, 2 months, 3 months from now. So it helps you to future pace them and show them a future version of yourself. Okay. There are lots of body mass visualizers on the internet where you can actually put the person's weight and height, and it kind of shows them what body shape they are. And you can say, okay, this is the body shape you are, and in 2 months time, this is the body shape you're going to be. And they can actually see it if you can show it to them online. All right. So the second thing is future pacing. Third thing is clarity, just overall clarity. Like I said, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So when they see a plan, when they see something that involves payment, EMI or something like that, then they can actually see and kind of assimilate the plan, whether it's the pay plan or it's the make money plan or it's the health plan or something like that. It kind of just helps them comfortable with that. And at this point, you can give them a few minutes to actually digest whatever pictorial presentation illustration that you have given them. Okay, so those are the 3 reasons why you should involve visual aids. There are 2 types of visual aids. There are static visual aids and there are dynamic visual aids. Okay, so I just want to talk about that because this is my favorite topic and I see a lot of people doing it wrong. especially on a one-on-one sale. Now remember, if you're in mass selling, if you're selling in a room full of people, you pretty much got a canned presentation, and nothing ever changes. You may have a webinar, so you got a canned PPT. That's what you got to present. So it's not going to change much. Plus, there are so many people in the room, you cannot customize it. So that is a static visual aid. However, in a one-on-one situation, I really hope and wish that even if you're a beginner, you can just kind of graduate a little more towards dynamic visual aids. So let's talk about what are these different types of visual aids. I'm going to go ahead to my screen over here, and the first type of visual aid is so closing aids is static aids. Let's go towards static aids. What are static aids? The first kind of a static aid is a company catalog or a product catalog. Okay, so if you're selling on behalf of a company or something, it's pretty much standard catalog, and they've given it to you, and you can just go ahead and show off the company catalog, and that becomes a static aid. The next thing is that you can be using a PowerPoint presentation, once again, especially if it's a one-to-many selling, or especially if you're like brand new, then obviously you cannot think too fast on your feet. You don't know the customer personas very well. So definitely, if your company has given you some PowerPoint presentation, or if you're coach, consultant, trainer, author, speaker, you built a closing stack with your products and your prices and your slabs and your combinations and all of that, that's fine. You can use that. Okay, so that's a static closing aid. Okay, so catalogs, PowerPoint presentations, online, offline, these are static aids. Now let's go to what are dynamic aids. What are dynamic aids? Let's go to the first type of dynamic aid, especially if you're sitting offline with somebody. I love the age-old pen and paper. Okay, get a big size pad and carry it with you if you're a salesperson who's going to be doing sales or showing the plan or something like that, one-on-one, or even in a short meeting, 1 to 2 people, 3 people at a time. Then you got to have one of these big size pads, so there is enough space to write down, and you should carry a good pen that clearly writes. It shouldn't be an old pen, old refill or something like that. Make sure it's like nice and clear, and great to have probably at least 2 pens of different colors, because it really adds to that whole variability and keeps people engaged. Okay, so offline pen and paper, I love that. Next you have whiteboard or flip chart. If it's a small presentation, home meeting, 5-7 people going to be there, probably less than 5 or 7 is good. And you can use a flip chart. You can use a small easel flip chart, and you can show it off to 4 or 5 people at a time. Okay, so that works very well. So it's dynamic. Why do I call it dynamic? Based on the questions that people have asked, you're going to tailor your offer so that it becomes customized, or at least it seems customized. Okay, so the way we do it in the sales call is you're going to ask a lot of questions first, and then when you come to the offer, you're going to actually give them the offer, the bonuses, terms and conditions, which actually talk to their ideas, their barriers, their pains, their opportunities that they had shared with you. This is the reason that I want to do this. This is the reason I've been afraid to do this. This is the thing. This is the barrier. Whatever it is, you can customize it, or even if you can't customize it, you're working with the standard pricing or something. At least the terms and conditions, you can just tweak the features, advantage, benefits so that it incorporates what they have already told you. And that's why this dynamic whiteboard or flip chart, it helps you to write it down and stuff like that. Just use 2 or 3 different colors, so it keeps prospects engaged and works very, very well. Okay, let's go to the next one, online. Okay, if you are doing online Zoom closes, I love this Excel sheet. Now I'm a make money coach, so invariably if I am doing any selling, it is about money, and I love to have Excel sheet. You can put in formulas, and you can do future pacing very well on an Excel sheet, because once people have understood the basic formula and conversion rates, then you can just draw it forward, double it, triple it, and it just goes to show them how the future pacing and all of that. It just goes to show them how it will look like, and it works very, very well. All right, also one quick tip: when you're sharing an Excel sheet or something like that on screen, just make sure you understand the viewing capability of the person that you're sharing with on a Zoom screen or something. Just ask them, hey man, can you see everything? And if not, you can just magnify. On the Excel sheet bottom right, there's something that helps you to magnify it so it becomes big. If you're showing a Google sheet or something, on the top right corner, you got to magnify the browser so you can expand the font so that everybody can see properly what you're writing. Okay, so online Excel, one of my absolute favorites. As you can see, I'm making this presentation YouTube video on an Excel sheet. And that's what I love, because simple helps me to be super dynamic, and I can do things on the fly versus maybe a mind map or a PowerPoint that other people show on a YouTube video. So I have so many YouTube videos with whiteboards because I'm drawing while I'm talking to you, and similarly online while I'm sitting over here. I love these Excel sheets, and it is just simple and beautiful. Okay. Next we have online is you can attach an iPad. If you have an iPad, you can attach an iPad to your computer and actually use it as a drawing screen, and you can actually, in a Zoom window, you can share it. You can share your screen to actually the iPad screen, and you can whatever you draw on the iPad screen. So it just helps you to discuss and exchange ideas. And when you're drawing, there's some magic about when you're drawing things by hand, whether it's on an iPad screen, whether it's on a whiteboard, whether it's on a pen and paper, whatever it is. That handwriting effect really engages the human side of our brain. Otherwise everything is too digital and everything now, so it's just too inorganic. But when you're actually writing stuff with your hand, it helps that much better human connection with the prospect. Okay. Next we have you can have an attached slate pad for drawing stuff. Same thing as an iPad, but it's a much cheaper version. Like I've got this slate pad over here. Ouch. It comes with a stylet that just fell. So you got this slate pad. It's black in color. I can attach it using a small USB cable to my laptop, and then I'm drawing on it using a stylet. It's not a chalkboard, okay? It comes with a stylet. You can just write on it, and whatever you're writing, you can see it on the screen. So it's a little bit of coordination required in the beginning, but it's super cheap. Don't need to buy an iPad, and it works very, very well. All right. So you've got slate pad. Next, let's go to the next option, which is you can just don't need to attach any device. I mean, simply you can just use online Microsoft or Zoom whiteboard, man. Let me just quickly show you. So just go ahead, create a free Microsoft account on this app, which is called whiteboard.microsoft.com. Okay, I'm sharing my screen over here. Whiteboard.microsoft.com, and you can see I've opened my whiteboard. It's a free app. There's no money required, and you can just use it and draw stuff over here, and it just goes ahead as a good visual aid, and you can literally write stuff over here in your handwriting and stuff like that, and it works very, very well. Okay. So this is something. So in certain cases I just use whiteboards to explain what ideas I have and things like that. Let me see if I can show you some of my whiteboards. And you can see I have literally drawn pictures and stuff like this over different whiteboards over here that I have. That really helps me to actually explain ideas in a pictorial format. It's dynamic, which means I'm drawing while I'm talking. It really helps the prospect to connect that much better. Okay. Next, let's go over to where is my sheet? Okay, let's go over to one of my other favorites, which is custom closing proposals. I love custom closing proposals, especially for high ticket clients, and I love it. If you're selling one-on-one, and if you're going a little more high ticket, clients love it and I love it. And what are custom proposals is basically, if a client has explained to you certain needs and you need to tweak your offerings as per their needs, they've got some terms in mind. Hey, I want split payment, etc., etc. And if you control the product, if it's your own product, especially if you're a coach, consultant, trainer, author, speaker, then what you can do is you can customize some of the terms and all, just make that extra effort for the client, and they love it. Hey man, I wanted this adjustment in the pricing. They've done that. They've adjustment in the terms, etc. EMIs, whatever it is, they've done that. And I wanted those extra freebies. They've included that. Just looks that good. Okay. Plus, if you're including some things from the client, you can always put end dates to it, saying, hey, I included everything you wanted, just customize it for you. Here's our paperwork, but deal closes today, which means you have to make a deposit. You have to sign off on this today. Okay. So that helps you to get both parties committed to each other. And an offline version of this custom proposal is something called a term sheet. So especially when you're selling maybe cars or something like that, that's what they've got to sign up on. In the case of home loan, of course, it's different because you always get that endorsement check from the client. So that works very well. But otherwise, when you're doing closing, it's best that on a product which has multiple features, benefits, and stuff like that, especially cars come to mind, then you can just literally talk with them while you're actually signing off on the features, benefits, and something like that. If you've ever seen a mover, what do you call these? movers that come to your house for house shifting or something like that, you'll see they always bring a term sheet, and they always give you a quotation on a term sheet written down right then and there, and they've included all of the things that you have and what are the terms, whether a truck is going to come or whatever. Okay, so they got a bunch of different gimmicks over there, and they always use a term sheet. So instead of a custom proposal, term sheet is something that goes very well, handwritten. It's a printed sheet, but they're tick marking the features and benefits that you want extra and things like that. Okay, so those are the different visual aids that I use and I recommend for closing deals, especially if you're doing one-on-one. Always use that, because when you are doing one-on-one closing, you don't really have a lot of leverage as well. So in one-to-many closing, you have leverage. You can use a canned webinar presentation, and that works very well. But when you're doing one-on-one, it really helps if a prospect has expressed their pain, their preferences, what is the things that they want, probably their constraints. Hey, this is the kind of money I can pay right now, can you split it up for me, or something like that. Then just literally writing it down. I love dynamic visual aids, and it really helps. Okay, so go ahead and use them. Which ones of these do you like best? Which ones of these do you use already? Let me know in the comments. And what else can I get for you in the next video? Let me know, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.